Welcome to the ESU Coaches Show tonight. I'm Chuck Cease. We are live at Teddy's University in Stroudsburg, and you should join us Monday nights at 5 o'clock during the fall semester. We're going to be here talking lots of ESU sports. With me right now is ESU head softball coach Jamie Walbach. We're going to talk ESU football later on this evening, but we're going to begin with ESU softball. Many of the spring sports are on campus, obviously doing their academic work, but they're also getting together for fall baseball. Fall lacrosse is working out, and the softball team no different. So talk about your schedule here in the fall and how the team gets together for the first time.
Yeah, we actually came right into season with our fall schedule, and it was very competitive. So we, throw them right into the ringer, challenge them a little bit. They played a very competitive fall schedule. We went with an all D1 schedule. We played Penn State, Villanova, Lehigh, Binghamton, Lafayette, and we handled the schedule very well. We were competing, so very excited. It's looking bright for the spring.
It's really important for them to get that competition, and when you can do it against teams that are certainly playing a class above you, what do you think that brings to the team as a whole?
I think one, it's nice when they're hosting us, and it's a really nice environment,
okay,
nice stadiums, things like that. So it's a good experience to travel. But also, I think it really helps speed up the game so that we can see what our holes are too. So any challenge that we can have is good because you learn from failure. So I think it really puts the pressure on us to see how good can we get when we're playing better competition, and where is our game maybe failing that we can get better at.
Sure. Now, how long is the fall schedule for you? How many days do you get to work with the team? And so look at that.
Our fall competition season's 45 days. So
45, okay.
So we usually play like 4 doubleheaders. So we're just wrapping that up this week, and then we'll transition into our 8-hour season.
Obviously, then it gives you a really good time or an opportunity to see what you have on your team. And with the success that you had last year and the year before, I mean, you're coming off 2 back-to-back fantastic seasons. When you take a look at what you've done, Coach, your 9th year here at ESU, a record of 185 and 151 to the regional champion in 2023, the coaching staff of the year in 2023, and 2 championship appearances in 2021 and 2023. Those obviously, mean the program is successful now. How do you then, take it to the next level, and how do you express that to the team that, we've gone to great places, but there are still greater places to go?
Sure. We actually just come off winning the conference for the first time in 45 years.
Right.
So we just won the conference tournament, and we were the PSAC East champs for the last 3 years. So I think when you're building that winning tradition, you expect it. So now when you get your returners and your leaders back and you're growing your program, they know how to win, and that's the hardest part. You get to post play, you have to know how to win. Yeah. You can't just show up and be happy and content to get there. So we have unfinished business too. We fell a little short in regionals this past year. We were number 1, ranked team, and we got to host, and we fell short. So we have some unfinished business to do.
Tell us about the players we're going to meet tonight.
We have Sarah Davenport up. She's a returning junior. She set literally every record here.
She is rewriting the record books, isn't she?
Yeah, she's doing an amazing job, and now she's a junior, so she's even more of a leader.
Yeah. Hard to believe it's already her junior year, but it is. I mean, it's just time goes by.
Well, it's nice when we saw this fall with the competition that we had. It's like, you have a Sarah Davenport, but now we also have more depth with our pitching staff. So now she's got a staff behind her that could really help her in some, key situations when you're playing doubleheaders. We have more depth in our staff. And then you also have Kinsley Proper coming in. She's a sophomore. She has the duties between catcher and first base, and she's really matured a lot.
Played all 58 games last year.
Yeah, she's doing
she's a veteran now. I mean,
when you have a freshman that can come in and play that much and be successful, and then come back as a sophomore, just only expect big things. It's almost like she's playing like an upperclassman.
Yeah. And then you brought a freshman tonight.
Yes, just wanted to change it up a little bit. Hear from a freshman, they're excited. It's the first time on campus. They're walking into a top 20 program in the country. So that's just nice to hear from a freshman and see how excited they are.
And her name is?
It's Brennan Core.
Brennan Core, right.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting to hear from her and let her, talk a little bit about the softball program and, why ESU and why she, chose the academics and the athletics here, for multiple reasons, but it'll be nice to hear from her.
So are your 45 days over now?
We're just finishing that up this week, so we'll wrap up the 45 days this week, and then we transition into our 8-hour season next week.
And then when do you reconvene for It's On? When 2026 season When does it? Well, right, but when you're when you're gearing up for the regular season, when does that happen?
We return from break, so it's around like January 15th. We return, we start training. We go about 2 weeks, and then we head south, and we pick up some nationally and regionally ranked teams down near the Miami area, and we'll open up season there, and then we come back and play a lot of home games.
I don't think you and I have really talked together about the facility that you have at Creekview Park. Obviously, John Kamansky's been here a couple of times, and he and I have spoken about what the facility means for his program. I have to imagine it's pretty similar for your program, too.
I think we have one of the best, locations and also softball facilities in the conference and in the Northeast.
Yeah.
We get a lot of programs that call and want to utilize our field, especially early when the weather's bad. But
and it's a recruiting tool, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue, and anytime you can get turf in the Northeast with the weather that we have, there's an advantage. We like to play a lot of home games because our athletes just love to play at home.
Yeah.
They like to win on their home turf.
Yeah. If you have not come up to Creekview Park for a baseball or softball game, you certainly owe it to yourself to make the trip. It's a really great environment on both fields, but I think especially on the softball field because it is a little bit of a smaller arena, so to speak. Fans, I think, are a little more on top of the action at the softball venue as opposed to the baseball field.
Yeah, we get a great turnout, and it's a very fast sport, so I feel like it just keeps your attention because it's so fast.
Yes.
And with wins brings support, so I think we're really fun to watch as a program. So we get a lot of fans out there too. So it's definitely a program to come out and really enjoy some good softball in the area, which we love.
And from a personal note, having the chance to call the regional championships at Creekview Park last year was something very special for me, and I know that I'm sure you guys can't wait and hope to get the chance to host again because
The opportunity,
I think we hosted the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Number 1 seed, so it would be great. You love to win at home. We've got a great team, we've got a great core back, and we've got some new players that are going to contribute. So, like I said, we have some unfinished business to do. We're very excited to get the season going. We had a very strong fall, so we're just going to keep working, get those bats going, manufacture some runs, and hopefully we can put on a good show this year as well.
We can't wait to see the 2026 team. Coach Jamie Walbach, thanks. Appreciate you.
Great, thank you for having me.
We're going to meet some of Jamie's players. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break here on the Coaches Show live from Teddy's University. Stay with us. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Cease. We're live at Teddy's University tonight. It's a Monday evening in the fall, and you should join us here if you get the chance to come down to Stroudsburg and join us for another edition of the Coaches Show. In fact, you still have about 40 minutes to get here for the rest of tonight's show. We're talking ESU softball right now. To my outside left, junior pitcher Sarah Davenport. Inside, sophomore utility player, catcher, and infielder Kinsley Proper. And to my right, a freshman on the Warrior team, Brendan Core is a first baseman, utility player for the Warrior softball team. Ladies, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I know it's for you guys, it's fall ball, right? You guys have 45 days, as we just talked to your coach, to get yourself together for the fall semester and get yourself some competition. Sarah, talk about the competition that you guys had to go up against this year in the fall season.
Yeah, the teams we played this fall are really good, so it's a great opportunity for everyone to be able to play really good competition for the spring season.
Ladies and gentlemen, this young lady is rewriting the ESU record books. I really should mention it. Let me tell you, in 2024, she was the Fast Pitch Coach Association Division II Freshman of the Year. She was D2 Freshman of the Year and the PSAC East Pitcher of the Year, the Freshman of the Year, NFCA All-American First Team, the Coach's Atlantic Region Pitcher of the Year, All-Region First Team, All-American First Team, and a Scholar All-American, and she pretty much repeated all of that in your sophomore year as well. And as I said, rewriting all the record books. How does that make you feel coming in here as like, you're the top dog on this pitching staff, but you're also one of the top dogs in the country when it comes to throwing the ball?
Yeah, it's great. I love being able to go out and do all this and really help my team go further as far as we can. So, being able to do all these accomplishments is great, and it's a huge honor to just be able to go do it.
What are your goals for this year? I mean, you got better in almost every category last year as opposed to your freshman year, with maybe the exception of earned run average, but you pitched more innings, you had more strikeouts, you gave up fewer hits, and your opponent's batting average, was really, really low again. So how do you improve on that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to build on it again, try to help our team go even farther this year. I want to keep building on what I did last year and keep improving. So.
Who caught you most of your games last year?
Last year was Delaney.
That's what I was going to say. I thought Delaney. Now, Kinsley, you have spent some time behind the plate, so we're going to pass the microphone over to Kinsley and say thanks for coming in tonight. A power-hitting presence for the Warriors. Kinsley started off 58 games last year, as we talked, batting .294. She had 6 home runs, 7 doubles, posted 4 RBIs against Shepherd last year, one of 12 multi-hit games, too. And in the field, Kinsley was nearly flawless with 99 putouts, 4 assists, and just 1 error. So I have to ask you first off, which do you put more pride in your hitting or your fielding as a player for the Warriors?
I'd probably say my hitting. I think it's a little bit more fun. You get to, actually score for your team.
Sure.
Defense is fun, but I don't know. I feel like hitting, I put the most time in, and it's nice to see all that pay off, especially against the competition that we face. It's no joke, so it's definitely, it's nice to see all the hard work pay off.
Having played all 58 games last year, I mean, obviously that means that at the end of that year, you're as experienced as anybody that's played a full year of softball. So coaches often talk about the speed of the game and it changing at different levels, grade school to high school to college to the next level. When did you feel that the game slowed down for you in your freshman season last year?
Honestly, it was like a huge jump. Like they always tell you that, but you don't really know until you see it,
right?
Yeah. So I'd say the fall was definitely a big wake up. We're playing D1 schools and we're like, oh shoot, I gotta get it together. But I'd say the leadership that we had on the team, they led the way, and you just kind of follow along to where they're going, and they helped me fit right in, feel at home, and just feel important and part of the team. And when I built those relationships with them, everything else just started to flow.
Well, that's exactly where we're going to go next door to talk to Brennan. Brennan is a freshman on this team. That's the experience that you're having right now coming into this program. Did you get the chance to see, and did you experience, like Kinsley said, with the Division I teams that you played here in fall ball this year, that you've noticed a little bit of a difference in the game? And what have you noticed the most coming from the high school ranks to the college ranks?
Yeah, definitely a difference. Coming from high school, everything is a little bit slower. Well, in college, it's a little bit faster, pace and energy, and everything is just one step higher, I think.
And how do you feel that you've acclimated yourself to that, having the chance to play it against some of these Division I athletes?
I feel like I've been doing pretty good. It's definitely a big change. I think that hitting I need to definitely work on, but fielding's been pretty good. Pretty similar, just learning the team and everybody.
Would you consider yourself a better offensive or a better defensive player at this point?
I feel like at this point I've adjusted more to the defensive side. I think most of that is just learning how to work with my team, but defensive is still working.
How did these ladies embrace you when you came to the team this year?
I really like them. They're all super nice, and like welcoming. So
We can't wait to see the team get on the field in the spring.
me too.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you and appreciate you and your teammates coming tonight.
Thank you.
Brendan Core, Kinsley Proper, and Sarah Davenport. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate the time because I know it's a busy time of year for all of you, and certainly, as I said, can't wait to get you back on the field in the spring semester. So thanks again, and enjoy the rest of the fall semester here. We've got more to come from the ESU Coaches Show. When we get back, we'll talk to ESU head football coach Jimmy Terwilliger as the ESU Coaches Show continues. We're live at Teddy's on the PSAC Sports Network. We're live on YouTube tonight as well, and we'll be right back.
I mean, we haven't played home in a nice atmosphere.
That's true.
And kind of goes to show you how beautiful it is in this area this time of year.
Yeah.
So it was awesome for the fans that came out to see us play. It was a great night for sure.
You're trying to win a divisional championship, and you know now the rubber hits the road. You go on the road to Shepherd this week, next week Kutztown, Millersville, and then who knows. But I know you always take it one game at a time. So we'll recap Shippensburg a little bit and then take a little bit of a look at Shepherd. The fact that your defense has now not allowed a point against the Shippensburg Raiders in 2 seasons, 2 consecutive games, I mean, that's a heck of a defensive accomplishment.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it that way. We kind of just play the next game as it goes. I was really happy with the way they performed Saturday night. It was kind of everybody had a chance to eat Saturday night. And it was a great performance. The defensive line was, which you guys will talk to tonight, they played lights out. They played complementary pass defense against a very strong throwing offense. I mean, Shippensburg had come in. They had thrown for 400 yards the week before that. And we had talked about being able to play complementary defense. So my hat goes off to Coach Lackey. Our defense, they played lights out, kept us in the ball game, and it was an outstanding performance, one for the ages.
I mean, the defense really did well holding Shippensburg on the running attack, but I also thought you limited Riley Gunnels to the short passing game. And talk about that. I know obviously having Everett Dingle back there in the secondary had a lot to do with the way your secondary was able to perform.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be able to get some guys back into the swing of things. Like Everett Dingle has missed 3 games.
Yeah.
And he's an elite 100 player. He's an all-conference player for us. So obviously when you don't have that in your lineup, that's a difference maker.
Sure.
Him coming back gave us great stability, and having him in the back end and then the guys up front, we're just playing 3 levels of good defense, and that's what it really takes to play great pass defense. You know, they're going to put somebody deep, they're going to put some guy in the intermediate and some guy short. Our mentality was to allow them to take the short stuff, you know, rally and tackle, and I thought we executed that game plan to a T.
We are going to talk about the defensive line, but I thought we should give the linebacking core a little bit of a shout-out, too, because I thought they handled their level of defense very well last week.
Yeah, and a lot of guys are playing for us. You know, Symir Williams got the start. He's been a fire plug.
Yep.
But you saw Mason Smith, Cam Gross. You've seen Khalil Scott, and there's been guys going in, and the level hasn't changed. They've played extremely well together. They're growing. They're getting better as the season goes. And right now, like you had mentioned, it's go time, right?
Yeah.
We're in the hunt. This is where you want to be at this time of the year. But we have to have a no-peak mentality. We have got to play our best football long into the next couple weeks here to be able to do that. So I'm happy with where we're at, but we're not going to be satisfied with our process of getting better.
All right, now let's look forward to Shepherd, because by some circles, by some accounts, people would say that Shepherd has regressed. Obviously, they don't have a talent like they had at quarterback several years back in Tyson Bagent, but Malachi Brown is a difference maker, and they use him in many different ways in the return game. They'll line him up in the backfield. They'll line him up as a slot receiver, or sometimes line him up outside as an outside receiver. So he's got to be one guy that you're keying on defensively.
There's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Malachi Brown, though, for sure. He is a difference maker wherever he is, and when the ball is in his hands, things can happen. So we've got to limit the targets to Malachi, and we need to know where he is at all periods of time. And then what it just comes down to for us is we haven't played well at Shepherd since I've been the head coach and been here. I can remember my first year traveling down there, they broke the scoring record. Then the second year we traveled down there, they broke the single-season touchdown record. And then they came to our place, and they broke the career touchdown passing record. So it's time for us to start playing, in adverse situations, adverse conditions. We have to dictate the attitude, dictate the tempo, and dictate the atmosphere. It's their homecoming. So I fully expect it to be a tremendous atmosphere to play at. It's two teams that are battling for that one spot that can go. And they're a great opponent. They're well coached. They've got great people going. We've got to play to the level in which we're capable of playing. We've got to practice that way this week.
We're going to meet 6 guys on the defensive line, so give me a thumbnail sketch of each one of them. Let's start. Where am I going to start? Oh, you know what? Well, I want to also talk about to you about Rourke Colligan.
Yeah.
He's one of the coaches that we're going to meet tonight before we talk to the players. And here's a young guy that played tight end for you. His perspective has to have changed to become a defensive coach.
Rourke Colligan is a firm reminder the blood runs thick. Rourke was a fullback tight end for us, was a blocking back, great program kid. When he graduated, he thought he wanted to get into the business sector and just got away from the game, and it just kept itching and wants to come back and come back to coach. I said, hey, we have an opportunity. He learned a new skill set, a new position. He's been working his tail off. He's a young guy in the profession that's done a tremendous job. And he's growing as a coach. And what you've seen with our defensive line is the fruits of his work. So I'm excited about Rourke.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back with more. We will meet the defensive line, including redshirt junior Trenton Dunnick, defensive tackle Ryan Epps, and Jake Williamson. They'll join us next when the ESU Coaches Show continues. We're live at Teddy's University. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The set changes are coming fast and furious here on the Coaches Show tonight. I'm Chuck Cease. We're back at Teddy's University, and we're talking ESU football. Defensive linemen are joining us. To my outside left, Ashton Blows. How are you?
Doing great tonight. How about yourself?
Great to see you. Number 95 here. Also represented the defensive line, number 2, Terrell Reynolds. Terrell, thank you so much for being here tonight. Great effort against Shippensburg on Saturday.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
And to my right, Jared Fenstermacher, who's a grad student. And we're going to start with you because, you're a guy that's been on this Warrior team now for 4 years. You're a grad student now. And it seems to me that, when you get your number called, you're out there making the most of it. And I think Saturday night was a good example of that. Tell us what your mindset's been now. I mean, you've been a player that's, like I said, been on this team for 4 years now. You started like when Coach Dowds used to say, these kids are barely shaven when they walk onto campus. Now you're a graduate student, and younger players are looking up to you for tips on technique and things like that. So how do you stay prepared knowing that your number might get called anytime, but when it does, you can go in and make a play like you did on Saturday night and get after the quarterback?
I'm very big on opportunities. I think that whenever an opportunity comes your way, you got to make the most of it. You always got to be prepared. That comes in the days, the weeks, and the months before the season comes up. We work hard every day of practice. We kind of go over all our drills, make sure we're doing good, make sure we're working hard, doing everything right. So when you get your name called or your number called and you go out for your opportunity, you just got to do what you know. It's nothing new. It's something we've been doing for most of us all of our life. You just got to go out and play as hard as you can every play you get.
You do have a new coach this year, Rourke Colligan, who was a teammate, right? And a teammate becomes a coach. That's got to be something that's kind of cool for you to see, but also then to see how he acts as a coach instead of as a player. Talk about his transition and how it's affected you as a player.
So I did play D-line here when Rourke played fullback. Him transitioning from player to coach at first was a little weird just because I had played with him for 2 years. So kind of having that player-on-player relationship and then trying to turn it into more of management and labor kind of coach and player was a little bit difficult, but it's definitely fun because you can kind of build a bigger relationship with him. I've played with him, and now I have a lot more trust with him because I know how hard he works on his own. Not just for us, but how hard he worked when he played. He's going to push us the same amount. So it was really easy for me to kind of buy in and follow what he said and just kind of give him everything I got every day of the week.
The fact that so many players are making plays on this defense has to make you guys feel good as a unit, that the work that you're putting in is really starting to pay off. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm definitely happy to watch everybody make plays. I'm really happy to see how we practice. The last couple of years we've had really good practices, but I think this year we're all kind of rooting for each other. There's nobody rooting for themselves. It's kind of a we over me kind of situation. They're not worrying about their own stats. They're worrying about the team wins, the team sacks, as we like to call them, where if I get a sack, that's not just me, that's the whole defensive line working together to kind of push the quarterback up in the pocket to one of us to make sure that we can get him down and win the game and kind of hold them to as little points as possible to let our offense work.
I think this defense has been working really, really well, getting after the quarterback and getting behind the line of scrimmage, and that's where I want to go next with Ashton Blows. I mean, you guys are already past your season total for sacks from last year. You've already blown past that, and you still have quite a handful of games left. What kind of pride do you all take as the defensive line, knowing that one of your responsibilities is to get in there, stuff the run, and to get at the quarterback, and you guys are doing it at a very high level right now?
Yeah, so we really pride ourselves, hold ourselves to a higher level. We work hard, we compete, we do it right every single day in practice. Every day before practice, we say it starts with us. It starts with us up front. No matter how the team does, whatever we do contributes to the overall outcome.
Terrell, I want to ask you the same question. I mean, what you guys are the front line of the defense. You got great backers behind you and great secondary players behind you, but it really does all begin up front. And how do you take that mindset onto the field?
We take it seriously. It starts in practice. Just coming out there every day, just competing with each other, trying to push each other to be the best, and just do what we got to do to win.
Ashton, you're 3 sacks away from being in the top 10 of individual seasons with 10 sacks. That would make you, it would tie you with a couple of different players. Does an individual number like that mean anything to you, or is it, is it nice when it comes with a win?
It's honestly just another number. I rather win. I'm not a stats guy. I really don't care about the stats. Every week it resets to 0. I'm just doing what I can for my team.
When you guys are looking at film, are you looking at linemen's tendencies and ways that you think you might be able to beat a guy, whether it's with a swim move or a spin move or a stun or a twist?
Yeah, there's a lot of tendencies that go into it, how they set their hands high, low, whether they tip on their stance, if they're going to pass or pull. There's a lot of different factors that go into it, but when you really break it down, you can sort of narrow down the approach of what move you want to hit and when you want to hit it.
Terrell, I've asked a couple of your teammates this throughout the course of the season. Is there an offensive lineman that you think you go up against in practice? It's wearing the same uniform as you, but do you think that there's an offensive lineman on the Warriors side of offense that helps you become a better defensive lineman?
All of them. They bring their energy. I mean, our offensive line, the best offensive line we're going to face all year, so it's going up against them every day in practice. It's just helping us to prepare and get ready for whoever we're going up against on Saturdays.
I read that you're a business management major. What kind of business do you see yourself managing after your college playing days are through?
I see myself getting into the real estate industry, with houses, getting houses right, and just flipping them.
Real estate's where it's at. Everybody needs a place to live. Terrell Reynolds, appreciate you. Ashton Blows, appreciate you. And Jared Fenstermaker, appreciate you all for being here tonight. Get after it Saturday at Shepherd. We've got more to come from the ESU Coaches Show. Stay with us. We're live at Teddy's every Monday night at 5, and I hope you see you soon here at the ESU Coaches Show. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Cease. We are live at Teddy's University, and we're live every Monday night at 5 o'clock throughout the course of the football season and the fall semester. So come on down and join us. We're talking ESU football. Again, the Warriors with a big defensive effort against the Shippensburg Raiders on Saturday night, holding the Raiders to no points for the second straight year in a row. I don't know if you guys are aware of numbers like that. Trenton Dunnick, Ryan Epps, and Jake Williamson, all from the defensive line, are here with us tonight talking Warrior football, talking about the game against Shippensburg. Trenton, just like I said to Jared, you never know when your number is going to get called. You guys rotate so many guys on the defensive line, which obviously helps keep everybody fresh. But when you get the chance to get into the game, man, you made your presence known on Saturday night. Tell us what you saw out there and what were you seeing that made it, I don't want to say easy, but made it the ability for you to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, so we were up, so it made, obviously they had to pass and come back a little bit, and the whole game I was just setting up an edge rush, and then eventually I was able to come under and stuff like that. But getting out there, getting reps, being fresh, rotating, just going out there with my numbers called. That's pretty much it. So, and
getting after the quarterback, making plays behind the line of scrimmage. What do you see from an offensive lineman, right? If he does something, is it all in the hips? Is it all in the shoulders? I know that a lot of times you talk about hips and shoulders and following body parts. Does it work the same way on the defensive line?
Yeah, so I'd say if you see a high shoulder, that means he's giving you a pass set. Low shoulders, he's got run blocking you or something like that. So, but then when it came to the pass set, they'd open up their hips and they'd be able to come up under, or you'd be able to go off the edge and burn off the edge there too. So it all depends about what the tackle's giving you, what the guard's giving you. That's pretty much all it is, yeah.
Ryan Epps here. You've been with us before on the Warrior Coaches Show. Thanks for coming back tonight. 2 tackles in the game Saturday night, both behind the line of scrimmage. Talk about, being a key to how you guys play, because it doesn't matter who's on the defensive line. You guys are all getting behind the line of scrimmage and making plays. There are more players this year have sacks, at least a half a sack for the Warriors than in the last several years. That I went back and looked at the stats. How does it make your line feel and you feel individually?
I would say this week we emphasized getting off blocks this week. So it was pretty regular, especially this week for us getting off blocks, making TFLs, getting back there, getting sacks. And we had a good lead So they wanted to pass the ball, so we tried to do our job.
Do the numbers mean anything to you when the team piles up the sacks like that? Or is it just a matter of, like, again, you're knowing that that's making a play that helps your team be successful?
Whenever we get the ball behind the sticks, so whether we need to get a TFL, PBUs, anything to get second and 12, second and long, for real.
Is it a matter of a first step on the defensive line, or is it a matter, like Trenton said, if you're looking for the high shoulder or the low shoulder, is there something that you try to key on when you're lined up against your opponent?
I try to go for the lineman's later hand, so I play inside, so they're always in the three-point stance for me.
Right.
So when they pop up, it kind of looks the same, but I can tell off their three-point stance what they're doing. That's
interesting. Jake Williamson, 28 total tackles this year, 8 career tackles. You just hold on to that one. We'll use one here. You can't cross the wires. It's like Ghostbusters, you know. 8 career tackles for loss, 4 career sacks. What kind of celebration in the locker room was there after you held Shippensburg? You shut them out for 2 straight years.
We were pretty fired up, but it was something we kind of expected to dominate them defensively, and you can never let your highs get too high. So although we enjoyed it, we got to be refocused this week. And we got a good matchup coming up.
Yeah, now tell us about what are you keying on as far as the Shepherd Rams? What kind of challenges are our offensive line going to present you guys?
So we know they're pretty good up front, and they want to run the ball. That's a big emphasis of their offense. It's the same thing that they've been doing for a long time now. So we got to have a really good week of practice. We got to attack every day. And really hone in on our technique and stuff in the run game.
I don't want anybody to give up any kind of a game plan, but is sometimes it is simple as just bringing another person up to the box to try and stuff the run, or is it more involved than that?
We like to believe that our front is good enough to stop the run on our own. So we don't really like to bring in somebody extra.
Not looking for help in that from that extra linebacker, or maybe bringing a safety up.
Yeah, definitely. So
well, get after it, Jake. I know it's going to be a great trip to Shepherd. You got to take them one at a time because 6-1 is great. 7-1 would be even better. I'm sure you guys are looking at it that way.
Absolutely.
We appreciate the time, appreciate the effort you guys have been making behind the line of scrimmage. Like I said, everybody seems to get their chance. And what is it like to have so many guys that can rotate in and out and helping you guys stay fresh?
It's awesome, and it's something that we really haven't had for a long time. We a full 2 deep of guys that can come in and be just as good as the guy in front of them. So it's pretty special.
Appreciate your time again. Appreciate you. Jake Williamson, Ryan Epps, and Trenton Dunnick. Guys, thanks again for the time. Best of luck as you get ready for the trip to Shepherd. It's going to be a great day down in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. We'll have live coverage with the Warrior pregame show starting at 11:30, the kickoff at noon at Shepherdstown, West Virginia. So make sure you join us on Bigfoot Country 96.7 and 97.3. And we're streaming online at BigfootPoconos.com. Back to wrap things up after this. You're listening to and watching the ESU Coaches Show live from Teddy's University. Stay with us.
Yes, Ryan.
We are back at the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Cease. We're headed down the home stretch tonight, and we're going to combine a segment or two here as we talk with ESU defensive line coach and former Warrior tight end and fullback Rourke Colligan to my left. To my right, A.J. Monsman. We'll get A.J.'s view of the action in just a couple of minutes. But ESU coaching staff, a new member of the staff, Rourke Colligan. Did you ever imagine that when you were playing tight end and fullback for ESU over the last several years that one day you might be lined up on the sidelines as a coach?
I kind of thought this was my calling. I really enjoyed playing football here, and that's why I looked to came back. Coach Twig did such a great job with me as a player. I wanted to learn from him as a young coach. Also, Coach Lackey, I made a great relationship with him throughout the locker room and stuff like that, and just being around him. So I figured that this would be a great place for me to call home again. So
a lot of good coaches have started here, and it's amazing how many, how deep and how widespread the Warrior coaching family tree is.
It is an unbelievable tree, Chuck.
10 different guys have recorded at least a half a sack for the Warriors this year, and the team has already surpassed their sack total as I was talking with the players. Is it a point of emphasis for the coaching staff, or is it just, look, if you can make a play, you got to make a play. It doesn't matter whether it's behind the line of scrimmage or whether it's an open field tackle that maybe stops a big run from being sprung.
We always talk about pursuit, Chuck. I always want my guys hunting to the best of their capability. They're high motor guys. They're great. They're coachable. It makes my job pretty easy. So,
tell me what your responsibilities are as a member of the coaching staff.
Obviously, I'm the D-line coach, so I'm responsible for the D-line. We're always in the meeting room working together, trying to break down the next opponent, talk about scheme, stuff like that, how we're going to exploit the next team.
I was talking to Jared Fenstermaker, and he said, Rourke was a teammate of mine, and at first wasn't sure how that was going to be. When you're then taking direction from a coach instead of maybe getting a tip on the field from a teammate.
Yeah.
There is obviously a difference there. And how do you think you've adjusted to that?
It's been interesting, but I let the guys know that, like, hey, listen, we could have been teammates, we could have been friends with each other in the past, but now I'm your coach. I don't make them call me coach or anything like that. We still have the great relationship with each other, but it is strictly a business relationship because we need the guys to perform, and that's how I'm going to approach every day. So.
What goals do you have as a coach?
Just take it one day at a time, win the next game.
It's pretty simple. Keep it simple.
Keep winning.
Rourke Colligan, I certainly appreciate you. AJ's view. AJ Monsman on the field with the Warrior special teams. Adam Knoll, Ty Quintos, Connor Walsh. The unit just seemingly going like clockwork right now, with the exception of an upright that got in the way of a great kick by Ty Quintos on Saturday night. That kick would have been good for another 10 yards out, easy.
Listen, Ty, it was probably his best kick of the year. I know it missed, and that's obviously not the result you wanted, but, I was proud of him. I was proud of how he approached it, especially the next kicks. Those guys do a great job, right? Like we always talk about, they really just, see themselves in the moment, and they're where their feet are, and they do a great job. He came off the sideline, and kind of just smiled. I said, yeah, Ty, I said, I don't really know what to tell you there, buddy. I said, it's a great kick, and, we're going to go out and make the next one, and he did. So, they do a great job of that, and, quarterbacks throwing completions, and, linemen miss blocks, and kickers and miss kicks. It happens.
I was just going to say, they're no different, right? They just got to put it behind them and get on to their next one.
Right, it happens, and you have to have a short memory, and they do, and they do a great job with that. And, Dr. Drago, being our team psychologist, he's a real big part of that and some of the mental stuff that he does with them. So I'm happy that, we have him. And obviously, after last week, hitting the game winner, coming out, missing the first one, but, they do a great job just coming back and making the next one. And we say going 1-0 with, every week, but you can go 1-0 in every kick. So they do a great job with that.
When you guys are out there on the practice field, how do you simulate? I mean, is it more than just a stopwatch to say, okay, you got to have 3.3 seconds or whatever that number is to get that snap back and to get that kick off? You can't really simulate game situations in practice. There's just really no way to do that.
You can't, and that's what's tough about that, especially field goal. You can kind of simulate it, but you really can't because you don't want to go live and have, I think Coach Lackey, and Coach Colligan here, they do a great job with our field goal block unit. Enrico Matthews has had a ton of blocks this year, right? I think he's at, 2 or 3 blocks?
I'm aware of, yeah.
You don't want him to sell out on every play, you know what I mean? He's diving on the ground, and listen, when the game's on the line, go get it. But, it's kind of tough to simulate, so, we'll send some guys off the edge and try and put stuff in his peripheral vision. But, it is hard to simulate. It's one of those things where you just have to trust your operation. That's one thing we talk about. Hey, trust it's going to be there. And Adam Knoll's a great holder. And before every game, he always says, hey, just trust me. I'm going to get it down. And he does, and they do a great job.
Trust is a big part of this. AJ, appreciate your time.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate you.
Rourke, I'm going to come back to you for one more because, trust is something that that the team has to work on, right? Without trust, that guy next to you on the defensive line, that the defensive tackle next to the defensive end, and then the end on the outside, that if they don't do what they're supposed to do, trust is so much a part of what goes in any type of football situation, really.
It's a great culture that we built here. Obviously, we like getting high school guys that we look forward to developing as young men, but also players as well. But I think that's part of the reason why we win the close ones, i.e. Lockhaven, i.e. Bloomsburg. Like, we always find a way because they do it for each other, Chuck. They really do. Like, these are guys that go through the summers, the winters, the springs, the early nights, or the early mornings, the late nights together. And that's where we come over. We come out on top. So it's a pretty cool thing to see.
What's the message this week for the D-line in practice?
Always hunt, relentless pursuit, and have fun.
Well, that's it. If you can't have fun, then you're not trying hard enough. That's what I always said. AJ Monsman, appreciate you. Rourke Colligan, appreciate you. Thanks to Trenton Dunnick, Ryan Epps, and Jake Williamson. And who else did we have? We had Jared Fenstermacher, we had Ashton Blows, and we had Terrell Reynolds. And I want to thank all the ESU softball players that were here, including Sarah Davenport and Kinsley Proper, and also new player Connor Ben, who is here with us tonight. Thanks to Coach Jamie Walbach. Thanks to you for watching. Thanks to Coach Jimmy Terwilliger as well. And we will be back next Monday night at 5 o'clock for the next edition of the ESU Coaches Show live from Teddy's University. Stay with us.